These are my top 10 most used Milwaukee tools. And I've got an 11th if you stick around as an honorable mention because I think it's a tie. The squared sockets by Milwaukee. I love their squared sockets. They don't roll around under a hood or under the car or when you drop them. They're squared on the drive side, and that's got a couple advantages. They don't roll around when they're under the hood, or if you set them down, or if you accidentally kick one, it won't go quite as far. The other advantage of that square side is if you just got the socket on something, you need to turn it by hand, you actually got something to grip on. The other thing they can do is they can take a wrench to them. Check that out, okay? So that's kind of a really nice feature as well, something a round socket just flat out cannot do. And another weird feature that you might come across is, check it out, this 17, and some of the other sizes do this as well, can take the 12, okay? So you could turn yourself into like this weird extension in a pinch. I'm not sure when you would need to do that, but I know you can't do that with circular sockets. So it is one more advantage of these. I love these. A lot of people think they're too fat, but I dare you to go out there and measure the tops of these against your favorite brand tops of them. And these are just regular sockets. They aren't shallow, or they aren't narrow sockets or anything like that, or slim. They are the exact same size of every brand I have. If I compare size to size at the top, they are the exact same size. They are not fatter. They are flatter. The flat side is the narrow side, okay, not the fat side. So the top is the fatter one. The flat is not. The next tool, this is a kit that I got. I leave this in the car, but what I do is I use the rotating head ratchet all the time. When I'm using it to work on things, it's nice to not have to be stuck in a one plane situation. If I get it loose, then what I can do is rotate this thing into a driver and quickly get that thing out a lot faster if I've got the room to do so. I love using the rotating head ratchet. I use it all the time. It lives on my workbench. And if you're wondering about what this kit was, it's basically a tiny Milwaukee metric set. I think you can get an SAE as well. And I'll put links down below so you don't have to hunt these things down based on picture. But what I really like is the rotating head ratchet. I've actually got 2 of those ratchets. You can buy them separately too, as I think a better idea, bang for the buck, to get the whole kit. Let's talk about the Milwaukee gloves I'm wearing. This is their demolition gloves. They have pads all over the place so that you're not getting stuck with anything. They've got this nice rubberized knuckle zone, so if you bust the nut, it doesn't hurt. They also have a smart stripe right there so that you can activate your smartphone with your knuckles, which is nice to have on the knuckles versus the fingers, because sometimes your fingers are super greasy and usually your knuckles not as bad. Right, so that covers these. You can see I get a couple of pair of these a year, depending on what type of job you're doing. They are a durable glove. The Milwaukee light, this is probably my most used Milwaukee tool because I always need light. No matter what I'm working on. Sometimes I'll use this when I'm filming, and it's got a couple different modes. It's got a USB charger on the top so that you can charge a phone from this USB. You can tilt this, and it's also magnetic, so you can get it up against something, and then it holds right there. What I really like about this one is if I use the square style battery versus a cylinder style, you can then stand it up. Or you can lay it down and it stays in that position, and then you can just tilt this as needed. Like I said, it's super bright, okay? Don't mean to blind you, but it's super bright. I like to lay this under the car, point it up at what I'm working on. Works great. Pretty much use it every project I have in the garage. This lives on my workbench as well. This is a Milwaukee Fastback. They have quite a few different styles of Fastback. I've seen one with a screwdriver on it. They're really nice. They got a little push button release here, which releases the lock. And if you're quick about it, you can kind of fling it out all nice and cool, fling it in nice and cool. Careful about doing it. I really love this one. It's got the cut through, so if you're cutting those plastic bands that come on big boxes, that you don't have to have the exposed blade, you can just slip that through there and pull real hard and it'll cut that. This is a daily used item in my garage. I love the auto lock feature, so I can just pull it out. I don't have to lock it. It just pulls, stays there. The button is what puts it back in. I use this all the time to measure things in the garage. When I don't have a hand, an extra hand to kind of dangle with the tape, I like the auto lock style. Milwaukee Stubby. Oh, there goes the magnet. Milwaukee Stubby. M12 Stubby. I get this thing in some crazy spots. It busts lug nuts loose. It busts exhaust studs loose. It has done suspension work for me. There's almost nothing this has gotten stumped by. And if it has been stumped by it, I got a feeling it was seized so much that I eventually had to either melt it or break it to get it apart versus trying to go at it with an impact. One of the 10th tools that you can't see. Sorry, this is my Milwaukee tinted glasses. I use these as sunglasses, but they also work great as safety glasses. They're originally pitched as a safety glasses, but I use them as sunglasses during the day. And the cool thing here is they have like a military lens in them, military grade lens, which is scratch resistant and smudge resistant. I treat these like absolute dirt. They get touched against my keys, against tools, against random things. They're thrown in the cubby in my car all the time, and they do not scratch. This is my second pair only because I lost the nose thing on my first pair, not because it was a problem with the glasses themselves. Highly recommend their safety glasses of this style. I haven't used any of the other ones. I used this one because they're tinted and I needed a good sunglasses that wouldn't get all jacked up every time I'm working. And I do not treat my sunglasses well. I cannot own a $100 pair of sunglasses because I know they'll just be junk in a week. And these are a quarter of that price, if not less, and they have lasted years for me. Milwaukee impact driver. I built an entire garage and a massive deck using this and the drill. Now this has driven probably, I don't even know. Let's call it like 1,000+ deck screws to build that deck. I'm not going to count them all, but this thing has seen some insane work. I was working on 90-degree days in the middle of summer in the sunshine on that deck, and this thing never quit. Great thing is it's got different modes, so that you can choose how fast and how crazy you want to torque that thing in there. It is pretty compact, and the angle on it, see how the handle doesn't go straight back. It's more like a pistol grip where it's cocked back slightly. That's nice when you're working all day because it doesn't dig into your wrist, and your thumb kind of like plays into this nice little groove right here. So ergonomically, this is one of my favorite Milwaukee tools. They really figured this out. This one is the drill, and again, it's got the same style handle, and so does this here. They're all the same style, like pistol grip handle with a nice little spot for your thumb. This one, it's weighted a little different than this. That's why I say ergonomically, this one probably wins. This one's a little heavier at the front because of it's a drill. I use this quite often. Obviously, anything you need to be using a drill for, this one has outperformed anything I've needed it to do. And it's got 2 separate modes there. It's got all your settings up here. You can use it as a hammer drill if you need to. It's got a concrete setting. It's got all this nice stuff on it. Highly recommend this drill right here. Honorable mention. I told you if you stuck around, the honorable mention is going to be the Milwaukee ratchet. I've got this in the extended version as well. This is the original non-fuel, non-extended, not a fast one, but it works great. Anybody that dogs this thing, it's because they haven't used it enough. This thing actually works great. If you're a DIY guy under the hood, this will save you tons of time. If you're a professional, you might want to step up to like the extended fuel brushless ones because you're going to be using it a lot more, and the extended reach is awesome to get into weird tight spots. You can see how much thinner it is at the top, like 6 or 7 inches compared to this one. This one's kind of bulky. You need to be close to what you're working on. This one gives you quite a bit of space to not be obstructed right here, and your hand doesn't have to be kind of right next to where you're working like this one does. Your hand's almost in the way sometimes, which is when you want to reach for a long extended version. And you get better leverage with this one too. You get better access, better leverage, as long as you can reach what you're getting at. With that one, I'd choose the extended reach over this one. But dollar for dollar, this one has done its job. I've got no complaints about this one. Another honorable mention on the Milwaukee tools that I use all the time, and you see what tools I got out here for the impact. Obviously, I've got their impact set, and I love that they're super big letters, contrasted in white against the black. And the red ring at the bottom is nice to have when you're in a low light situation. Red side goes to the red side, right? Okay, so this would be another honorable mention. I use their sockets all the time. And again, if you're looking for any of this stuff, I will put the links down in the description so you don't have to go hunting for these product numbers anywhere. Let me know what your favorite Milwaukee tools are that I showed you, or if you got any questions, or if you just want to share with me which Milwaukee tools you use most. Drop me a comment.
Thank you for watching.